What's up guys? Welcome to a new video. It's really cold out here, but I don't care, I'm gonna just do this quickly. Okay, so this right here is a Dacora Digna camera. It's like from the 60s, so it's even older than my parents. I got this from my relative. We were like talking about film cameras, and then he was like, yeah, I remember I had this like old camera and like it took bigger film than other cameras, and my eyes like just lit up like, oh my god, is it medium format? And yeah, I have it now. And there was actually like 3 versions of this camera, and this is the best version. The different versions all had different lenses. There was like one with an f8 lens, if I remember correctly, and this is the best one. This is a 80mm f2.9. Also, this is like a collapsible lens thingy. I don't know how I'm gonna do this because I have the microphone here, but okay, I guess that works. It's stored like this, and when you want to take a picture, you like open the lens up like this, and now you're ready to shoot. So it's from the 60s, and it takes 120 medium format film. Also, because it's from the 60s, it has absolutely no electronics. There's no light meter in this. There's a viewfinder. It's really small, and it's really dirty, and it's really fogged up, and I really can't see through it, but it's there. One cool thing about this, it actually has like a pronto leaf shutter, so it's actually quite good. And like every control on this camera is on the lens, so you put the aperture, then you twist this lens element to choose your shutter speed, and then you cock the shutter, and then you shoot like this. The release button on top really doesn't work all the time. It only works sometimes, so I just use the cable shutter release with this, so at least the shutter mechanism is working. And the shutter speeds on this go from 1/200 of a second down to 1/25 of a second, and then also bulb, of course. And I really haven't used the shorter shutter speeds. I only used 1/200 of a second because it sounded kinda correct. So I just used that and did all of my exposure with just the aperture. Also, one thing cool about this camera for the time is the shutter speed options and the aperture options, because this wasn't that expensive of a camera back then. So I've shot one roll through this camera. It was Ektar 100. Why Ektar? It was the cheapest color film I could get for 120. Yeah, I'm a broke student. The problem came to scanning, because scanning medium format film in the lab I go to close to me is super expensive. I ended up paying like 40 euros for a scan of 12 pictures. 12, because this shoots 6x6 square. I ended up paying like 40 euros just to get my roll developed and scanned, which is a problem because it's really fucking expensive, and the flatbed I own at home only takes 35mm. But to be honest, I was actually quite surprised with the results I got from this camera. I expected a lot worse, but the results turned out pretty well. Most of the shots were out of focus for some reason. Might be because this camera only has scale focusing, so you just have to like twist the lens to the meter you think your subject is on. And that's really hard. The only shots that really like turned out well in terms of focus, that weren't focused to like infinity, were the ones that we actually like calculate the distance with the Pythagorean theorem and stuff, and it was way too much work, and it only sometimes worked. A few of the shots from the ending of the roll a bit light leaky. Was it because I accidentally thought that I had already rewinded the whole roll and opened the back and instantly regretted everything? Maybe. There's a few pictures that turned out really well on this roll, especially this one that I actually got even a 30x30 print made out of it, and Ektar was probably the perfect choice of film for like this autumn season. It's not autumn anymore, if you can see, it's winter now. But honestly, even though most of the pictures didn't turn out as I expected, I'm still happy because at least this camera works. It's from the 60s, so it's like 80 years old by now, and it works really well when you get the focusing on point. The pictures look really good. In my roll, I hit the exposure pretty well every time. Once again, this camera doesn't have any light meter, so I used my phone, and actually the light meter app I used worked quite well. So my shots were really well exposed, and that shows in the negatives, and I'm really proud of that actually. The reason why I haven't shot more with it is because of the price. I can't afford it right now because I'm a broke student once again. Maybe next year when I possibly can put together a digital camera scanning solution, then I maybe could use medium format again and maybe get even a better medium format camera. I'm glad you watched all the way through to the end. Thank you for that. I'll see you next time. Bye.